tried to get you guys.
We welcome you to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. Tonight in San Antonio, Texas, getting ready for the Spurs and the Mavericks, the debut of Victor Wembanyama, part of NBA 2K24 opening week. There is the international superstar, 19 years old, ready to begin his NBA journey as we welcome you courtside. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside JJ Redick, Richard Jefferson. So happy to be with you. I think everybody's excited for this debut, right gentlemen?
I'm very excited.
No, I think that the entire basketball world has been waiting 2 years for him to get here, and today is finally the day.
Take a look at the starting lineups for the visiting Mavericks. Last year missed the playoffs, missed the play-in. Luka Doncic, who was a game-time decision in there, recovered from his thigh and calf, along with Kyrie Irving, Grant Williams, Derek Jones Jr., and Maxi Kleber. For the Spurs, a huge starting lineup. Jeremy Sochan, the 6'9" point guard, along with Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Wembanyama, and Zach Collins. So here we go, the most anticipated NBA debut since LeBron James 20 years ago. Wembanyama will jump it up with Maxi Kleber. Well, thank you very much, Mike, and welcome to the debut of Victor Wembanyama. The most anticipated NBA debut since LeBron James 20 years ago as Jeremy Sochan lays it in for the opening bucket. Ryan Rucco, JJ Redick, Richard Jefferson, Cassidy Hubbard with you. I appreciate you hanging out with us for the second game of this NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Tipping off the season as Irving gets denied by Wemby. Rejection number one with a lot more to come. And Doncic, the save for Dallas.
And you immediately see Wembanyama's value as a weak side help defender, right? He's able to close space, get the contest, the block on Irving, who had beat his primary defender.
So many people talked about who is he going to guard. Right now, he's got Derek Jones Jr., who is not a three-point threat. So he's going to be playing center fielder all night long.
Zach Collins, who starts at the 5 with Wembanyama at the 4, knocks down the jumper. Here is Irving dancing into the paint. Could not bank it in. Wemby off the rebound. Wembanyama will pull. Had this building buzzing with that attempt. Greg Popovich telling us before the game that he wants Wembanyama to play with total freedom on the offensive end. Said every once in a while you could see him take a shot that Pop is going to have to reel him in a bit, but otherwise really doesn't want him thinking about much on that end.
Apparently Pop's not a fan of the one-legged three. That's what we learned in our pregame meeting with Greg Popovich.
Right. Doesn't want the Dirk impressions quite yet.
No, and I asked him, I was like, how many times did you have to express to him that? He's like, just once, just once. He's very coachable. And I believe Pop's not a person that likes to repeat himself.
Zach Collins to the line. Kleber picks up the first personal. Certainly plenty of attention is going to be on this highly anticipated debut of Victor Wembanyama. But JJ, how about Dallas and the focus on them as well going into this season, now having a full year of Kyrie and Luka together?
Yeah, they swung for the fences at the trade deadline and picked up Kyrie Irving. We know this team is capable of scoring. They have two of the most talented offensive players in the NBA. The question about the Mavs is their defense, and they tried to address that in the offseason, bringing in guys like Grant Williams, drafting Derek Lively, getting Maxi Kleber and Josh Green back, who were injured at times last year as Luka hits the step-back three. But ultimately, whether or not this team is a playoff team is not about offense and scoring and the fit between Kyrie and Luka offensively. It is about the team defense.
Here is Wembanyama into Collins. Has size on Doncic. Collins loses his footing out of bounds, and San Antonio turns it over.
I never like it when a big player, right there, he's got the advantage over Luka, and he tries to make a quick move. When you are a big man going against a small, take your time. Be deliberate with with your moves, excuse me. So if you're deliberate there, don't try and outquick a small guy. Be slow, make a double team come, and then help your team.
Here is Irving. Off to Jones Jr., met by Collins, pops into the arms of Vassell. Devin Vassell Euroing inside. What a nifty finish. Devin Vassell, part of this young core for the Spurs, inked a 5-year, $135 million extension. Doncic, gorgeous setup, and Kleber knocks down the three.
So Kleber, that's what you want. You want a big man that can extend the range. Right now, when you have Wemby guarding a non-shooter, that's going to cause problems for defenses around, or for offenses around the league, as you see Vassell with another layup.
And that's just poor half-court defense from the Mavs there. Running a dribble handoff, there's no switch, no communication. Vassell saunters in for the easy lay.
Jones gets fouled by Wembanyama, and Derek Jones Jr. is going to shoot two. First personal on Wemby.
Wembanyama not in position, little body contact. I think something to watch for all NBA fans with Wembanyama. We brought up earlier the help side defense, but him as the defender of a screener and pick and roll, his ability to basically be in a drop, but also have the length and agility to be up at the level nearly at the same time, it takes a lot of pressure off of the backside of your defense.
It's a Spurs team that was the worst defensive team in the NBA a season ago. But the thing that Greg Popovich was most pleased about from the preseason was the team commitment to defense. Part of what he likes about this big lineup as well. And obviously, Wembanyama essential to that. There it is, the first points in the career of Victor Wembanyama.
And just another display of his versatility. 7'4", and the first score for him is a three-point shot. Just shows that the defense in the league is going to be in trouble for a long time.
And Johnson adds to it. Timeout, Dallas.
The momentous occasion right here. Victor Wembanyama, the three-pointer for his first NBA points.
Thanks for coming back to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. It is part of NBA 2K24 opening week. Good start for the Spurs in Victor Wembanyama's debut as we send things over to Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Ryan. Victor Wembanyama has been described as the greatest prospect ever to enter the NBA. And his head coach, Greg Popovich, expressed concern about the 19-year-old handling all the attention, but quickly realized that was one thing he didn't need to worry about. When describing Wembanyama, the first word that came to mind for Pop was easy. He says he's already a pro, saying, I don't have to do anything to make him understand how to be professional. His parents and whoever coached him along the way, they did it. And while he is very aware of the publicity around him, Pop says Victor has already displayed an extraordinary ability to balance it all. When I asked him what that looked like, he said, just as the decision-making in terms of all the asks, how he treats every member of the organization, and being mindful of not always being the center of attention. So as extraordinary as he is on the court, guys, his professionalism is what has impressed Pop the most, and he's coached some of the highest character guys to do it, so that's certainly saying something.
Yeah, Cassidy, 100%. Pop just glowed about the mentality of Victor Wembanyama. And JJ, when you had Wemby on your podcast last year, you could see the emotional quotient of this young man. It's off the charts, and that's why Greg Popovich has the comfort he does with the attention that he knows his 19-year-old rookie is going to get.
I believe at the time I used the word enlightenment at 19.
Yeah.
There's a maturity that he has. I think for anyone who has come into the league, maybe with the exception of LeBron, he's probably most prepared for what comes with the amount of hype and expectations that will be on his shoulders.
Right now, trying to help onto Doncic, leaving Hardaway Jr., who connects on a three.
And again, these are one of those things where when one, Victor already has one foul, so you don't want to get a second foul there. Two, you got a strong side shooter, and that's Tim Hardaway Jr. As he starts to understand who you leave, who you don't, understanding personnel. But that was one of those ones where he's got to stay home and let Luka work.
Keldon Johnson able to wiggle his way into a whistle. That will be on Doncic, his first.
And this is what I'm saying. If you're going to double team here, you see Tim Hardaway Jr. making himself available. Gives him a little bit of time, but now you're the strong side big. You cannot leave a shooter unless you know that rotation is already there.
I don't disagree with you, RJ. I would also make the argument maybe the rotation should have been there, and it should have been there quicker because obviously there was a mismatch there in the post with Luka.
No, I agree with that.
But I know
JJ.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. I'm not here to
that.
argue with you.
I'm more saying on an offensive rebound. I don't know if there's set rotations were there on an offensive rebound. It's kind of a scramble.
Again, I'm not here to argue with you.
Wembanyama to the bench for the first time. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, a block for Wemby as Johnson misses the second free throw. Cedi Osman into the game for San Antonio. He was someone who Greg Popovich highlighted to us before the game. Said, man, he is tough. Really has enjoyed having Osman and what he brings to this young Spurs team.
My last training camp with the Cavs is Keldon Johnson with another wide open finish in that Dallas Maverick paint. But Cedi Osman I had in my last training camp in Cleveland. He was a rookie. Even at that point, he was already a pro. A lot of the Europeans that come over are already used to being professionals as Tim Hardaway Jr. knocks down another three.
Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench for Dallas. As Sochan on the attack couldn't finish it. Doncic pushing pace for the Mavericks. They're trying to play with more haste this season, and Doncic goes right to the rack and then flexes afterwards. Little burst from Dallas as San Antonio turns it over. And now Josh Green will check in for the Mavs.
And this is Luka at full speed. The beautiful spin move for the finish. And you see the value right now for the Dallas Mavericks of a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr., who can come off the bench, get hot, and change the momentum of a game early.
Derek Lively, the rookie, in as well, as Doncic is going to get 2 more on the goaltend from Charles Bassey.
And I don't know how slowly or quickly they're going to bring along Derek Lively, but to me, he's one of the swing factors for this Dallas Mavericks team. And if you see at the start of this game, the San Antonio Spurs are getting whatever they want at the rim, just consistently driving the basketball for layups or getting to the free throw line. His rim protection is going to be very important for this Mavs team.
Yeah, and he's been working with Tyson Chandler, former Defensive Player of the Year. And Jason Kidd said the way he communicates that back line of the defense, Lively is way ahead of that.
Sochan knocks down the corner 3. Jeremy Sochan, who shot it at just 24% from 3 as a rookie, and now a steal. Johnson off and running with Vassell. Vassell to the rack. Good response from San Antonio. A 7-point lead for the Spurs in the first. Green dips inside, can't finish it, but gets the whistle. And Green is going to shoot 2.
And again, already, we know that they were last in defense this year, but getting deflection, making plays, having a 2-on-1 option, and that's how you go up. If he does not stop the ball, your job is to finish. The Spurs are getting out in transition early.
Josh Green to the line, just inked a 3-year, $41 million extension, misses the first free throw. Taking a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Tomorrow on TNT, the Hardenless Sixers in Milwaukee to take on Dame and Giannis. And then Phoenix at the Lakers. For more on these games, go to NBA.com or visit the NBA app. Talk about swing factors for the Mavericks. This man, another one of them, Josh Green, How does he continue to develop in his 4th year?
No, I loved hearing Jason Kidd talk about the extension and how, hey, your job now is to work on another extension. That was what he told me. After I signed my extension, he told me your job is to work on your next extension right now. So it's good to hear the same messages he was giving me in my early career. He's telling the young players with his Dallas Mavericks.
Lively picks up his first. Well, and Jason, he did his job, didn't he, Richard? He helped get you that extension.
Oh, we used to laugh and joke that if you looked at how many players Jason Kidd got paid, and I am one of them, but no, his message has always been the same. Like, hey, once you get that deal, the next day you're working on your next deal. And to give that message to a young player so he doesn't relax, so he doesn't say, okay, I've done something, that's the message that every young player needs to hear.
I was a teammate of Josh Green his rookie year. Couldn't really shoot the basketball at all. Would see him every day after practice, before shoot around, working with the shooting coach, trying to develop a consistency in his form, and really blossomed last year as a shooter. Not on high volume, just under 3 attempts a game, but shot over 40% from 3.
Luka to the bench, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Doncic. Here is Irving. Back iron, no. Nice job by Malachi Branham to guide the rebound over to Trey Jones. The Spurs point guard had a nice season last year, coming off the bench to begin this season. Here's Osman. Missed it left. Rebound secured by the rookie Lively. Hardaway Jr. going one-on-one with Vassell and gets the call on Devin Vassell. That will be his first. And free throws here for Tim Hardaway Jr.
San Antonio foul number 24, Devin Vassell, his first 13th foul. Tim Hardaway Jr. is in line.
Hardaway Jr. was very honest at the start of training camp, said he really didn't know if he was still going to be a part of the Mavericks' plans. Finally felt settled in then, and then wasn't sure of his role. Would he start? Would he come off the bench? But begins this season off the bench for the Mavs.
Well, he's a pro, and he's a professional scorer as well. And guys like him that can shoot the basketball will always have a role.
In the 3rd year of a 4-year, $75 million deal. Here's Vassell. Long 2 is good. Devin Vassell, 10 points in this opening quarter. And the Spurs have already put up 30 as Branham is going to get called for the foul on the trip of Dante Exum back in the NBA. Talk about the roster turnover for Dallas. Significant changes.
And if you're a player, you see this and you see what's going on in the summer, you see the moves. A lot of players are curious. You're not sure, even if you start the season, there was big names that were moved. You see the James Harden, the Dame Lillard. So a lot of times you can be a part of things even if it's not involved directly with your team or a player coming to your team. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is a player that is going to have a spot on any team in this league. He's so talented and his skills, but I'm not surprised with the amount of turnover that the Dallas Mavericks have had.
Branham hits the jumper after Derek Lively gets his first NBA points on the putback.
Harden got moved?
No, I'm just saying to players that names are up in trade stuff. You have the James Harden, you have the Dame Lillard. When those names are up,
I thought you said guys that have gotten moved, like James Harden.
Well, James Harden has been moved multiple times in the last few years, so that name could just be thrown in.
Historically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate you correcting me, though, JJ.
Second foul called on Irving. Here's Vassell. Not that time. Bassey, the offensive rebound. Out to Osman. Left alone. Connects on a 3. San Antonio has already put up 35 in the first as Wembanyama gets ready to check back in.
And that play was made possible by Charles Bassey. He's a high-energy guy, hits the offensive glass. Perfect time as Hardaway gets another bucket. Perfect time to get another good look at 3 is after an offensive rebound.
And off the bench for Hardaway. Here's Vassell. Trying to shake free of Green into the corner, and an offensive foul is called on Vassell. That will be his second personal. 2:25 to go in the first. Big opening quarter for the Spurs.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm.
Let's take a look at our star matchup brought to you by Jordan. Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, a couple of international stars, their rookie comparison.
Well, you see the age similar, draft similar. I made this comparison actually during the NBA draft this past June. The similarity to me is that both these guys actually produced at a high level. You see a lot of European prospects historically that haven't produced and are drafted on potential. And for anyone who thinks that Victor Wembanyama was playing in a subpar league in the championship round, he played against a team that had seven NBA guys, seven former NBA guys on that roster, and he was able to produce.
And produces again right there on a three, so 2 field goals for Wembanyama, both from downtown. Well, to your point, JJ, he was the youngest MVP ever of his league in France, as Hardaway Jr. now with 12 off the bench at the French LNB Pro A.
Well, and JJ, you're right about these players coming over. They're used to being the face of the franchise. As you see Jones knock down the pull-up, they're used to being the face of the franchise. They're used to having the media. Obviously, the NBA is bigger, but as far as having to helm a team and being the focal point, they are used to that before they even come over here.
Irving jitters his way in for 2.
Kyrie Irving, one of the most elite one-on-one players. So many people are talking about how they're going to mix. Kyrie has always played with a dominant ball handler. If it was LeBron, if it was James Harden, he's had that around, and it allows him just to go be an elite scorer, which he is one of the best to ever do it.
Here's Trey Jones looking to turn the corner. Branham open, can't hit. Mailed it. And now Dante Exum looking to push for Dallas. Green met Wemby, and that's going to be the second personal on Victor Wembanyama. Let's take a listen into sounds of the game.
Everybody be ready to play tonight. Everybody be ready to support each other, man. Selfless is going to get us this win tonight, all right? Together on 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
And we're looking to have an amazing season. I love you guys, and go Spurs, go! Hey, brother. Love you, brother. Let's have a great game, all right?
Hey, way to shoot it, boy.
Some of the sounds of the game with Keldon Johnson, Kyrie Irving wearing mics for us tonight. Meanwhile, Victor Wembanyama is going to check out after picking up his second personal. So 2 fouls in this first for Wemby, who also has 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 block. Saw Irving go to the bench for Dallas. San Antonio putting up 40 points already in this first quarter against the Mavs. Jones says, all right, I'll take, and hit from 3. Executing the 2-for-1 as well.
Well, Tim Hardaway Jr., by design, went under both of those ball screens, and Jones with the confident stroke.
Wow, speaking of confidence, how about Lively climbing the ladder?
Look, Lively's going to be a problem. I think what we've seen from him, first-round pick, just has a high basketball IQ. Jason Kidd said he was already talking a bunch in their defensive situation. So if he can roll like that and finish, it's going to be a problem.
Jones has it knocked out of bounds by Green. 3.8 on the shot clock for San Antonio. Just over 10 seconds remaining in this first. Both teams have shot it incredibly well. Dallas at 59% and the Spurs at 65%. Jones floats it back to Sochan. 2 to shoot. Sochan will pull short. Rebound Doncic. His 4th of the quarter. Doncic off 1 leg. Can't get it to go. And that'll do it for the first. San Antonio with its highest scoring quarter of the last 2 seasons. In the debut of Victor Wembanyama. Welcome back to San Antonio. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. The Wemby jerseys, yeah, flying off the shelves pregame here at Frostbank Center. Wemby on the bench right now, started the second quarter with 2 fouls, hit a couple of threes, had a block and 2 rebounds in the first as Zach Collins comes up with a steal on the lob attempt from Doncic to Kleba. Ryan Rucco, J.J. Redick, Richard Jefferson, Cassidy Hubbard with you. As Sochan gets loose, couldn't finish it as he got behind Doncic. Hardaway Jr. had a big first and hits to begin the second. 15 points in 8 minutes off the bench for Tim Hardaway Jr. Three for three from downtown. Johnson, nifty handle, stops and lays it in. Beautiful move from Keldon Johnson.
JJ, as a resident shooter on this chain, when you get a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. make his first three-pointer, you know that that can come in bunches, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is down.
Yeah, he is grabbing at the back of his head after taking a big screen. And the Mavericks took a foul there so they could stop play, but Tim Hardaway Jr. dinged up after that.
Trying to set a screen here on Sochan.
Ooh.
And wrapped his arm around the back of his head. Tony Brothers and Jason Kidd with a little discussion about whether or not that should be reviewed, and Tony said no.
And Tim Hardaway Jr. is still confused by it, as Sochan clearly should have been called for a personal foul, if not more. Here's Jones in the corner. Not that time from three. Good battle from Collins. Couldn't win it, and Doncic comes up with his 5th rebound. Triple-double watch is on. 9, 5, and 5 for Luka already. Doncic working behind Lively. Great look to Exum. Short on a 3. Played internationally the last 2 seasons and really improved his shooting, hoping it translates here, as Exum's going to get called for the foul, and Sochan will go to the line to shoot 2. Dante Exum playing in Serbia last year and played in Barcelona the season before. Shot it at 45% from 3 in those 2 seasons, but you also have a shorter 3-point line internationally than here in the NBA.
That is correct, Ryan.
I'm here for the facts, you know?
Thank you for giving us context.
I let you two provide the humor and
It's good to
sarcasm.
see Dante Exum back in the league. High draft pick of the Utah Jazz. Had some injuries as well early in his career. Has fought through those and earned his spot. Signed a nice offseason deal with the Dallas Mavericks.
Keldon Johnson up to 10 points. Doncic gets denied by Collins. 5 on 4 here for San Antonio. Into the corner, Johnson. Back iron, no. Kleba the rebound. Now Dallas an opportunity 2 on 1. Exum scoops it up, lays it in, plus the foul.
Well, again, the rim protection for the Spurs is going to be so much different, but it's not just Wemby. They have guys that can make plays. Here's Zach Collins, after not being healthy for so many years in Portland, getting a fresh start here. And he is as important to Wemby's development, maybe as any player on that roster. That he will be the one guarding the bigs, guarding Joel Embiid, guarding Giannis, and allows for Wemby to be a free safety, allow him to get those blocks into roam, especially if you put him on a non-shooter like the Derrick Jones Jr. to start the game. And so you don't have to worry about him banging with the bigs and having to deal with that. That's what Collins is here for.
Collins signing that extension. 2 years, $35 million. It was in the final year of a 3-year, $22 million deal this season. And Greg Popovich just talked about the joy it brought him seeing Collins sign that extension after everything he went through. You talked about it, Richard. 3 ankle surgeries over a 2-year period in which he played just 11 games and feels so indebted to the Spurs with the chance they took on him. Great look there from Collins, and Johnson just couldn't quite finish it. Johnson hustling back on defense. Doncic can't hit the 3, Sochan the rebound. Sochan has it deflected to Johnson. Sochan will fire and hit another. Jeremy Sochan with his second 3 of the night. He is up to 10 points. Last year's 9th overall pick. As McDermott comes up with the rejection. Sochan spins, takes, Can't finish, got the whistle, will shoot two. Jeremy Sochan flying all over the floor.
This was a guy who last year had the courage, RJ, to shoot free throws one-handed. His free throw percentage went way up as Wemby reacts to that three. And he's really worked on his shooting. Brett Brown over there on the Spurs bench, former Philadelphia 76ers head coach, has worked with him a ton. You love seeing young guys develop, and he still shoots the free throws one-handed.
Cassidy?
Yeah, I asked Jeremy how his one-handed free throw came about, and to your point, JJ, he said that Brett Brown would do form shooting every day with him and normally would do it one-handed and mixing it in with two hands as well. And he said one-handed, he would always have streaks of hitting shots. And one day during a shoot-around in Houston, he was getting ready, and Coach Pop calls him over and just told him, "You're shooting one-handed free throws now," and that's it. And Jeremy was like, "Okay, then, guess I am." And he says he doesn't care how it looks. If it's going in, it's going in. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's carried over from last season, so it seems to be working for him so far, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Cassidy, it's incredible as Wembanyama back into the game for San Antonio. That ball squirts out of bounds to Dallas. You look at the percentages, you referenced it, JJ. Last year, Sochan was shooting 46% from the line. Changed to the one hand, shot 76% from mid-December on. Dramatic difference, and you used the word courage. That's the word that Greg Popovich used as well, saying, hey, even if you thought it might work, not every player is going to get out there and be brave enough to do that in an NBA game.
RJ, did you ever practice free throws one-handed?
Doncic gets the foul called against Sochan.
Form shooting, I was not to the level of 40% from the free throw line, so it was never really an adjustment. I shot in the mid-80s a few times. I think my career is probably high 70s, so for me it was more of just getting lots of reps.
We were enjoying a deep dive on both of your career free throw percentages last night.
Yes, we were.
Check your local election calendar and make your game plan to vote. National Vote Early Day is tomorrow. Get in the game, vote early. To learn more, visit nba.com/elections. I think the only thing that JJ is more passionate about than career free throw percentages is gather steps in youth basketball.
Don't get me started, Ryan. This is not the platform for me to rant. This is not the platform.
I just know Kai and Knox have been called for a lot of travels that they shouldn't have been called for.
We need to adopt the FIBA and NBA rules at all levels of basketball in the United States of America.
Here's Branham. Can't hit the three from the wing. 50-45, San Antonio in front. Doncic pedals his way into the paint. The patience and the finish. Luka Doncic with 12, 6, and 6, and a timeout taken by the Spurs.
Luka probing off the dribble. Watch Derek Lively here. Set this screen late on Zach Collins, giving him the space to score. For the Dallas Mavericks, getting it going early with the step-back three over Sochan. And then in transition, the crafty spin over Kelton Johnson. And then this one that just happened, probing, and then you see the patience once he gets in the paint to ultimately finish.
They took an assist away from Luka, but this is still very much a triple-double watch for Luka Doncic, who was questionable to play in this game as of yesterday. That was a game-time decision. I've been dealing with a calf and a thigh issue. Obviously in there and effective. Wembanyama nearly tumbled, playing with 2 fouls. Vassell on the bench with 2 right now for San Antonio. Wemby tried to sell a foul, could not, and Kyrie Irving the rebound.
Well, he's going to get a lot of those because you're trying to get close enough to him to contest, and there is no real contest against him, so he's going to get a lot of those shoot, people are too close, and get fouled on his drop as Luka knocks down the jumper.
Doncic completely locked in now, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
I know this may sound silly, but
most likely.
One of the most impressive things about Luka's game is his ability to stop, his decel ability. And right there, it was on full display. The previous bucket on full display.
You know what? I don't think it sounds silly at all. I think it's a wonderful point.
Thank you.
You're a good teammate, Ryan.
I love you both. Doncic decels into a 3, couldn't hit it. Here's Sochan. McDermott, Wemby was posted in the paint calling for it. His teammates couldn't get it to him, but Malachi Branham floats it in.
Know yourself, McDermott. No, if you're not a lob thrower, I was never a lob thrower, so I would tell my team in preseason, don't expect me to throw lobs. I'll give you a really mean bounce pass.
One of the things Greg Popovich has been working on with his team as Williams hits the corner three to tie it at 52 is throwing it higher than they think, saying that rarely is there going to be an issue with throwing a pass too tall for Wemby.
And my thing is this, Wemby's guarding Grant Williams. Now you have a shooter. Now when he's playing free safety, it's a lot more difficult, and that is a flop there by Grant. I respect the flop, but that's the difference between Wemby guarding Derrick Jones Jr. and guarding Grant Williams. Derrick Jones Jr. is not going to be an outside threat. Grant Williams, if you're going to sit in the paint, he's going to get wide open shots. And then here, watch this little, Yeah, I don't think that was a foul.
Which, remember, this year you can be called for a technical foul for a flop. Here's Irving, short on a three. If it's not called, you can still be assessed a fine in review after the game. Branham rims off. Hardaway Jr. the board. Dallas has not led in this first half. Williams tried to squeeze it between two defenders, taken by Vassell, back in there, playing with two fouls. Wembanyama wants it with Hardaway Jr. on his back. Nice delivery, but Jones stepped out, and San Antonio turns it over for a fifth time.
So you don't see a lot of post-ups by Victor. They're not going to run traditional post-ups. They're going to rim run him. If he can test, JJ and I and the team we were talking about, he has a lot of Anthony Davis where you want him to rim run, throw that early post-up, and then he forces confusion. It pulls in the defense. So you're not seeing a ton of traditional post-ups, but you will see him in the paint given the opportunity.
And look, that's another advantage of him not guarding 5 men as Collins gets the blocks. He's going to be matched up against perimeter players, so when he is able to run to the rim in transition, he's likely going to have a mismatch.
He comes up with a steal here. And a post-entry pass failure there from Branham, who just gets a look from Greg Popovich.
I've had that look before. Just don't look at the bench. If you make a mistake, don't look at the bench. just get back on defense, raise your hand, say my bad. But if you're looking over at Pop every single time, it's a long night.
Each team right now exactly 19 of 37 from the floor, 51.4%. 4:30 to go in this first half. Irving bounces, Kleber catch, fire, no. Long board, back to Kleber. Williams, the ball fake. Hardaway Jr., not that time, kept alive, but right to Branham. Here's Jones zipping into the paint, right to the cup. Trey Jones, Greg Popovich absolutely loves coaching. Irving fading away. His ability to drift from the extension of the defender and have the touch, uncanny.
Not many people can do it like him.
And not only that, just at his size.
Speaking of doing things at a crazy size. Here's Collins, 5 to shoot. Collins hooks it in.
And that's what we were talking about. You have a smaller defender, be deliberate. He tried to do a quick move against a smaller defender and then tried to post up the big. Right there, be deliberate, go into a simple hook shot, make the defense react.
Right, what you were asking for earlier in the game. Irving blasts baseline and finishes through the body. Branham off and running, lays it in, plus the foul. Greg Popovich points to Trey Jones. And Malachi Branham a chance for 3. Number 2 on Maxi Kleber.
We're going to probably say this all season until something changes. But Kyrie and Luka and Dallas, as you see Kyrie here, the best we have in our league at finishing against bigs who go vertical. Dallas is going to score points. But right now, the resistance level especially in transition. You saw the Trey Jones with just a simple burst gets right to the rim. They're not getting back on defense. Defense is going to be the barometer with which Dallas either plays well and wins games or they lose.
14 fast break points already for the Spurs. Hardaway Jr. can't hit. Vassell, the weak side rebound. Wembanyama back on the bench for San Antonio. Oh, great look. Osman finishes it on the delivery from Collins. Timeout, Dallas. 16th assist of the half for San Antonio. And a 5-point Spurs lead. Ready to try and bring the Spurs a 6th championship. And I thought it was so interesting, Richard, you as someone who has played for Greg Popovich here in San Antonio, you asked him, who are the culture drivers now? Because there's been established veterans to receive the young talent here. And Greg Popovich said, I have to be. Because there isn't necessarily that veteran who has the corporate knowledge. And you've experienced, as we see Manu Ginobili here catching the action, you've experienced what it's like to become a member of Spurs culture.
Yeah, I've been on both sides. I played against them in the NBA Finals, you know, so playing against their culture, and then coming here, I was here during Kawhi's rookie year, and it's just establishing brick by brick what that means as Collins with another quality post-up. But Spur culture is winning is the only thing. For instance, when a lot of different teams, you win a game, you lose a game, you move on. When you lose a game on a Spurs bus, on a Spurs plane, it is dead silent. And Tim Duncan used to say, hey, there's no laughing, there's no joking. Coach doesn't want to hear a bunch of playing around. That's how serious they take all 82 games here. And now he's having to establish that with the culture, and I think he's got a great group of young guys that are very receptive. But this is the first time that Pop has had to be the culture builder.
Gotta like a 9-0 run as Vassell hits the jumper up to 12 points. San Antonio with 17 assists in this first half. Doncic back in off the bench, misses the bank. Collins the rebound. Here's Johnson zipping into the paint, gets denied by Kleba, but another chance here. Vassell connects. A 12-0 Spurs run. Doncic finds an angle, couldn't finish, got a late whistle, and will shoot two.
Devin Vassell now up to 15. Comes off this dribble handoff, falling out of bounds. All net there. He's had a nice night from the mid-range so far. And then off the block shot, offensive rebound, spotting up. Wemby loves it.
Vassell, one of those building blocks that the Spurs hope to grow with around Wembanyama. Now inks for 5 years following this one. We're coming up on the Toyota halftime, breaking down Wemby's debut. Malika Andrews, Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, and Bob Myers. Welcome to the team, Bob. Looking forward to them at the half. Richard, what has stood out to you about Vassell's game early on in his career and then what we've seen thus far tonight?
Well, I think there's a freedom that Pop gives you. He says, this is what you can do and do as much of it as you like. And you can see he's coming off looking to score, looking to be aggressive. And when Pop instills confidence in you, he gives you all of that confidence. Now, don't do things outside of what he tells you, because then you're entering into danger zone.
Collins applies the contact, and Williams able to finish through it. Grant Williams a chance for three.
Collins got the block on Luka earlier on a similar play. Just never really commits to the ball and just is a little late there. Nice finish by Williams.
Grant Williams to the free throw line.
Grant Williams traded from Boston to Dallas in the offseason. Got a new 4-year, $54 million deal as part of that sign and trade. Spurs were involved as well, ended up with a pick swap in 2030. Vassell couldn't get that one to drop. Collins, the offensive rebound, lost it. Doncic has it. Doncic threw a seed. Jones got his hands on it. Williams hesitated and now hits.
Well, I think he was trying to decide whether or not he wanted to wait to the last shot. Tim Hardaway Jr. was definitely asking for that ball. He already has one travel from a little indecision, so catch and shoot. That's what his job is.
Right. Do you pull it out, wind down the clock, or take that open corner three? And Williams decided it was too good to pass up.
It's always a good shot when you make it.
Down to 2 seconds in the corner. Osman got it away, leaves it short, and that'll do it for the first half. Dallas ends the half on an 8-0 run. A 68-64 lead for the Spurs in Victor Wembanyama's debut. Wemby with 6 points, a block, 3 rebounds. Devin Vassell, huge opening half. 15 points, 6 of 10 from the floor, and he is with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Ryan. Devin, big first half for you, 15 points. How would you describe just your attack to start this one?
My teammates are looking for it. Coaches are looking for me, and I just got to execute and make shots.
And Devin, Pop has been preaching pace. So what should the conversation be in terms of being more effective in the second half in the transition game and limiting Luka Doncic?
Yeah, we got to get stops. Once we get stops, I think we're the best in transition, so we just got to get out and run, that's all.
Thanks and good luck in the second half. Ryan?
All right, Cassidy, thank you very much. Big first half for Vassell, for Doncic as well. Closing in on a triple-double already. And how about Victor Wembanyama? A couple of threes in his first half of NBA basketball. State Farm halftime up next.
The NBA on ESPN, presented all season long by State Farm, is brought to you by Jordan Brand. Believe in yourself and nowhere's out of.
And we'll take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by Royal Caribbean. The Spurs, a 68-64 lead over the Mavericks. How about 18 assists from San Antonio in that first half? Of course, the main attraction tonight, the debut of Victor Wembanyama. A block early in the first, a couple of threes, 6 points in that first half. Luka Doncic, 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. As we welcome you courtside. Hey again, everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside JJ Redick, Richard Jefferson. All right, a lot to like from the Spurs standpoint from that first half. Obviously, everybody wondering about the debut of Victor Wembanyama. Richard, what stood out about the 19-year-old in his first half of basketball?
Well, I think so much about it was who is he going to guard? Who was going to guard him? And you've seen it. Primarily, he's guarded by perimeter players, and so that gives so many opportunities. And I think your starting lineup is going to be based about, how are you going to get him out the paint? I think in this situation, you saw him with Derrick Jones Jr. starting. That might not be the best formula as he moves on.
Yeah, limited a little bit by foul trouble early. I think the other story here, and we're going to be hearing a lot from these guys in the future, is Jeremy Sochan and Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, who all had outstanding first halves. This is not just about Wembanyama. This is a strong young core for the San Antonio Spurs.
Meanwhile, Jason Kidd will be wearing a mic for us throughout the entire second half. Something we do with live coaches' mics on our WNBA telecast. We're doing tonight with Jason Kidd, so you'll be able to enjoy that throughout the broadcast. Derek Lively starting the second half as Doncic can't hit the three. So, Richard, that was something you were asking for after what you saw in the first half. You thought Dallas should go to Lively. He gets the start in the second half.
Well, yeah, a lot of that is going to be what you do with Wembanyama. We obviously see, right now Grant Williams is starting because that keeps him out of the paint because you have to respect Grant Williams' ability to shoot the three.
Wembanyama gives it up. Collins looking to take Lively. The reverse finish from Zach Collins, who's had some really nice moments tonight for San Antonio. 4 of the 5 Spurs starters now in double figures. Only Wemby is not, as Williams misfires on a 3. Sochan comes soaring back for the rebound. Here's Wembanyama. Vassell's 3. Back iron, no. Vassell not shy tonight. 6 of 11 from the floor, 15 points. Irving from 14, can't drop it in. And Johnson the rebound for the Spurs. Dallas has not led in this game. Sochan rims out on a 3. Vassell, great effort to get a hand on it. Doncic lobbing it up. Lively, great hands. And the finish, and Greg Popovich wants a timeout.
Lively is their starting center. I am so sorry. I don't know how they're going to figure out, but that young man pairs very well with what the Dallas Mavericks need to finish off this game.
Get NBA 2K24 for 30% off now and see why it's being heralded as a game like we've never seen before. Scan the QR code for more details and to get your copy now. See you on the court.
Welcome back to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm, part of NBA 2K24 opening week. Third quarter action in San Antonio. The Spurs a 70-66 lead on the Mavericks. The debut of Victor Wembanyama. And a quick timeout from Greg Popovich after Dallas adjusted here in the second half, starting the rookie Derek Lively, the 12th pick of this year's draft. As Sochan able to beat Lively to the rim for the flush. After Kleba had started the first half at the 5 for Dallas. Here's Doncic into the lane, hooked it behind Lively. Maybe has to get used to those dishes from Doncic. As Wembanyama threw a bullet cross court and Vassell couldn't quite handle. Greg Popovich, 23-3 all-time in season openers. Best mark in league history, most wins in league history. Now in his 28th season as the head coach of the Spurs. One of those seasons he didn't have an opener to coach because he picked up midway through. As that's knocked out of bounds, Grant Williams tries to say it hit Wemby, and he was going to win that argument. Man, I'm not sure he should have won that argument.
Yeah, we also didn't see much there until we picked up that replay a little late, but
I think
on Derek Lively, I want to point this out as Derek Lively gets called for an offensive foul on that screen. You know, RJ brought this up, and we had talked about this in the first half. The rim protection, hopefully he can provide that. But then the vertical lob threat. He caught a lob in the first half from Josh Green. We talk about a pairing with Luka and putting shooters around that. You need someone like Derek Lively in those pick and rolls with Luka.
It's going to be an offensive foul. Wembanyama gave a little shove to Williams, and that'll be the third personal on Wemby. Just 4 field goal attempts tonight thus far for Wembanyama, all from three-point range, and there's the foul.
Well, some of that is he's just so tall, so when he puts that forearm there, which is common, it's almost at his neck. But again, I'm still curious with the Derek Jones Jr. 1.1 rebound, not really a space-to-floor guy. So, you know, Jason Kidd is obviously starting him for a reason. But again, I think Lively with this starting him now, he's a rookie. But still, I think what he brings to the table is special compared to what some of the other big options that they have.
And then you would put Kleba at the 4 with him, is what you're saying,
yes,
if he took Jones out. Here's Collins straight on. Doesn't get the roll. Doncic flies in for his 8th rebound, 18.7 assists as well. Wow, what a dime. Doncic to Lively, there it is. Lively takes a big hit, like a receiver in the back of the end zone, and free throws here for Derek Lively.
And that's one of the things, when you have Derek Jones Jr., you don't have a three-point threat. When you have Lively out there, you don't have a three-point threat. And here, as you see, running down the middle of the floor. But if you add Kleba and Lively, to me, that's the floor spacer and the roll threat. To me, early on, that looks like a good combo.
The NBA opening week continues Friday with a doubleheader on ESPN. And a great one, Miami at Boston. And then Golden State at Sacramento. A couple of playoff rematches after outstanding series coverage. Tips with NBA Countdown at 7 p.m. Eastern. (72-69), Spurs lead it. And that is going to be number 4 on Wemby.
Substitution number 16, Osman for Victor Wembanyama.
Jason Kidd wearing a live mic for us, but deciding not to communicate at the moment.
He's gone awkwardly silent.
Wemby on the bench now after kicking up his 4th as Irving dances into a jumper. Kyrie Irving up to 10, and for Wemby, he'll have to wait a while before he's back on the floor. Lively the rejection. Here comes Dallas, trying to take their first lead of the night. Doncic, the hezzy, the dish. Lively couldn't grab it. Jones Jr., oh no. Lively able to persist, and Dallas has its first lead of the night. Derek Lively, the second, making a big impact in this second half. Or Jason Kidd calling for the ice as Collins hits a little push shot.
Oh, pressure.
And ice is just simply forcing the pick down towards the baseline.
Irving lobs it up. There's Lively.
JJ, I know we're not that smart. We're not that smart. We were able to spot that Lively was the answer very early on.
Stay rebound, stay home, stay up.
Vassell hits the jumper. 17 for Devin Vassell, who has had his mid-range game going tonight. Into the corner, Jones, no. Johnson the rebound. And Osman couldn't handle. That is the 12th turnover for San Antonio.
Derek Lively just being active here. Mishandled a pass, but stayed with it. Gets the offensive putback, and then this is what we're talking when we say vertical lob threat. Kyrie with the beautiful left-hand dish.
Lively up to 11 points, 5 rebounds. Getting Mavs fans very excited. The 12th pick of this year's draft out of Duke. Doncic, what a dime. Williams can't knock it down. Vassell, excellent job on the glass. San Antonio wins the board. Here's Sochan. Quick step, knocked out of bounds, stays here. Now, you talked about it before, Richard, when it came to Lively. The thing Jason Kidd really harped on with us about the rookie before the game was how communicative he is as a rookie. Been working a lot with Tyson Chandler and trying to learn that anchor of the defense role. But a lot of times, and Jason Kidd brought this up, he said even Tyson wasn't vocal like that as a rookie in Chicago. It took him a while to grow into that.
Well, and then when you have a player like that mentoring you, former Defensive Player of the Year, we know how important Tyson Chandler was to them winning a championship. But Derek Lively with the big finish. Okay, I see you, young fella. That was impressive. Here, you know Luka, the best in the business. Collins has to make a choice, and that's a late choice and a wrong choice, if you ask me. Oh, we're gonna see a lot of Lively this year.
Lively up to 13 points. He has 9 in the quarter, make it 10. And on a night where all of our attention was focused on a different rookie, Victor Wembanyama, it's Derek Lively who has taken over in this third quarter.
Ice, stay ice.
Collins off the mark.
Set it early.
Here Jason Kidd directing traffic. Doncic tried the no look. Osman trying to sprint after it. It'll go out of bounds to San Antonio.
And Grant Williams is acknowledging that was his mistake as Luka gets to that baseline. He's supposed to fill behind and be looking for that pass. But you know this, when you play with a Chris Paul or a Jason Kidd or a Luka, passes start showing up that you don't expect, and that can take time.
Here's Collins trying to work the rookie. Collins floats it up and in. Zach Collins with 14 points tonight.
And he's had a lot of success tonight just playing one-on-one in the post. RJ got mad at him early in the game for going quick, but he's been patient. The last 4 or 5 times he's had it down there and scored.
Osman able to sell the contact from Williams.
And this is Collins undersized going against Lively, the tough finish. And then here on the rebound attempt, Williams with a little touch to the back.
Just a little touch.
Jetty Osman.
Just a little touch, just saying hello.
78 all. A little more than 5 minutes to go in the third, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Collins.
But that starts with the pressure from Green. So now all of a sudden Collins feels that he's got to get up there and take some of that pressure off. And for Jones, you know this, JJ. For Jones, you got to wait for that big. That is not a foul on Collins. That is a foul because Jones went a little too early and didn't allow for his big to get set.
And the pressure speeds Jones up.
That is number 4 on Collins. So now 4 on Wembanyama, 4 on Collins. Charles Bassey, who had some strong minutes of the first half into the game for San Antonio. Here's Doncic right to the rack, lays it in. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists for Doncic. Then Green the steal off the inbound. Here's Hardaway. Back iron, no. Bassey the rebound, and San Antonio survives that mistake. 14 turnovers now for the Spurs, who have the youngest team in the NBA. Vassell's pull-up, smooth.
He is smooth in that mid-range, gets great elevation, outstanding arc on the basketball as well, just a soft shooting touch.
19 for Vassell. Doncic step back 3 is good. With Osman in his grill, Mark Cuban enjoys it. .23 points for Luka Doncic. And Dallas with a 3-point edge, their largest of the night. Branham can't hit. Lively the rebound. Here comes Luka. Doncic tried the no look to the corner, and it's out of bounds off of Vassell.
And we know this left wing step back, you know it's coming. That is his shot, and there's not much that you can do. And look, the bench loves it. The Dallas Maverick continuity is starting to get that rhythm offensively, defensively, since adding Lively to the starting lineup in the second half.
Kleba back in, couldn't finish. Osman was there, and San Antonio controls. Here's Jones. Wembanyama and Collins both on the bench with 4 fouls for the Spurs, as Trey Jones able to work a whistle, and he will shoot 2. Seth Curry getting ready to check in for the first time tonight for Dallas, as Doncic will get a breather and Irving will come back in to join Curry. We're taking a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Tomorrow on TNT, Philadelphia at Milwaukee. Dame Lillard as a Buck. And then Phoenix at the Lakers. For more on these games, go to NBA.com or visit the NBA app.
Two sides. Two sides. Two sides. Two sides.
Jason Kidd wearing a live mic for us throughout this second half.
Two sides.
And now all of America is going to get to know what two side is for the Dallas Mavericks.
It's an Iverson cut to a side pick and roll.
Well, don't ruin the surprise for everyone, JJ.
Here's Kyrie. Hardaway Jr. from the wing, doesn't get the roll. Bassey is bouncy, comes up with the board. Jones left alone, knocks it down.
And that's the second time tonight that the Dallas Mavericks have elected to go under a Trey Jones pick and roll, and he's made him pay.
Off the steal, Jones the get ahead, Osman the lay.
San Antonio Spurs on a 7-0 run to take a 4-point lead. starts with Trey Jones hitting his second three of the game, and then the hustle. Get on the floor, dive on it, turn defense to offense. Jones finds Osman for the layup. And then the emotion. Hasn't been a loud night for Wemby, but this building has been loud. This team has played really together.
Green in the corner, knocks down the three. Josh Green off the bench tonight. It's his first attempt from downtown. It's a 1-point Spurs lead, 2:30 to go in the third. Wembanyama on the bench with 4 fouls. Keldon Johnson short. Jones the rebound. Another chance here for San Antonio. Here's Jones veering into the paint, lays it in. Wemby has been very engaged on the bench all night while there as Irving gets free for the reverse.
And if you're Jetty and you're guarding Kyrie, we know about his ability to finish. You have to force him up. You have to force him into a catch because that back door, his ability to finish, the paint pulls in, he's going to get open shots.
Vassell wide open center of the paint and the delivery from Jones. 25 assists now for San Antonio tonight. Here's Irving, working his way through, flinging out. Kleber connects and ties it at 91.
And that's the contrast between Derek Lively and Maxi Kleber. Lively's going to roll to the rim. Kleber there with the pop for three.
And a whistle here against Dallas.
On our guy down there, right? The slip screen. He runs into us. It's an offensive foul. It's an offensive foul, right? Just, you called it down there.
It's a different version of the call it both ways conversation. A favorite of all coaches. As that's knocked out of bounds off of Dallas, going to stay here.
Hey, that's our ball.
Now remember, if you are correct on a challenge, you do get the chance for another this season. Jason Kidd not using it there as Johnson can't push it in. Loose ball gathered by Hardaway. Hardaway Jr. all the way in, gets fouled, and will go to the line to shoot 2.
He hit the rim! Tony! He hit the rim!
Jason Kidd believing this basket should have been good.
He grabs the rim! Tony, he grabs the rim! He hits the rim! Yeah.
Well, Jason, we'll let you know if you're right.
Did not appear from that angle that he hit the rim, that Bassey hit the rim, but certainly a violent attempt. There he is right inside of the rim. You could see from this angle the backboard shaking a little bit when that ball hit the rim.
Here we go, Blue!
So, Kidd out of case. Instead, 2 free throws for Hardaway, 93-91, 1 minute to go in the third. Jones wiggles inside, leaves it short. Kleber the rebound. Dallas has not led by more than 3 tonight. A chance to here. Irving, 6 of 13 from the floor, 12 points for Kyrie Irving. Irving fading, back iron, no. Bassey missed time. The jump still came down with the board. 2 for 1 if San Antonio really hurried, but Osman thought better of it. About a 9-second difference, game and shot clock. Here's Johnson into the paint. Keldon Johnson can't finesse it home. Kleber the rebound, out to Green. 10 seconds left. Here Jason Kidd reminding his team 1 shot. Green will fire and bank it in. Josh Green has been visiting the bank often lately. Osman doesn't get the same roll on the other end. Dallas, its largest lead of the night, an 8-0 run to end the third.
back to San Antonio. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm, here with Greg Popovich. And Coach, after controlling the pace for much of the first half, how would you assess your tempo and control in that third quarter?
It's more about our defense. I think our defense is really, our shifts, they're getting in the paint on us over and over and over again, so we got to keep them out of the paint.
And with Victor in foul trouble for most of the game, what's your message to him in his first NBA crunch time minutes here in the fourth?
I don't need to say anything to him. I think he knows.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Ryan.
Well, one of the things that Cassidy detailed for us earlier was how impressed Greg Popovich has been with the maturity of Victor Wembanyama, handling the attention as Johnson gets free to oop the alley on the delivery from Sochan. Wembanyama tonight, 6 points, a couple of threes, a block, 4 rebounds, but foul trouble throughout, limited to 16 minutes. Here's Doncic using his strength and draws the foul. Luka Doncic to the line.
Nice after timeout play here from Greg Popovich. Good execution, good delivery. Keldon Johnson with the flush. Good way to start the quarter after not finishing the third quarter well.
By the way, that foul was assessed to Wembanyama, so he picks up his 5th, not even 30 seconds into the 4th, and Wemby is going to have to go right back to the bench. And how about the learning curve, guys?
Yeah. Some of it is figuring out how not to commit silly fouls, right? The offensive foul on the screen in the third quarter, extending his arm on the post up on Grant Williams. They need him on the basketball floor. The fans want him on the basketball floor. We want him on the basketball floor. I tried to have a conversation with Tony Brothers there in between quarters. Let him play.
I don't think Tony has ever listened to you in your entire career.
Has Tony listened to any of you at any point? I think Tony does what Tony wants to do.
That's why he's a good official. He doesn't listen to any player.
And
I can't believe I just said that on national television, that he's a good official.
Well, we hope Tony has it recorded and we'll play it back. Irving can't finish. Doncic off the offensive rebound. 1 point lead for Dallas. Doncic with 23, 11, and 8. Doncic. Oh, wow. How about that fake? Luka Doncic.
And part of this entire second half with Lively, right? He's putting pressure on the rim on his roll. Zach Collins just keep dropping further back. You can't allow Luka to get that deep. He's too crafty, he's too big, and he's too skilled.
Jason Kidd wearing a mic for us live throughout this second half. Doncic drops it out. Irving extra pass. Kleba gets bumped. No call. 8 to shoot. It settles with Doncic. Backing down Johnson. Doncic off one leg. Oh, baby! Luka Doncic dialed in. 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists.
And that's why you can never, ever guard Luka with a smaller player, in my opinion, because he will hurt you one-on-one in the post. There's not a small, in my opinion, that can guard him.
Defensive 3 seconds here called against Lively. There is a point of emphasis this season to make sure to call more of the defensive 3 seconds.
Don't you feel, RJ, 10, 12 years ago, when there was still a lot of post-up play, there were more 3 seconds because of the nature of the gameplay versus 5-out offenses where you're constantly having to scramble, cutting through the paint, you can tag somebody. It's just different now. You just don't see it as much. I felt like when I played, I could always guarantee with Dwight Howard or Blake Griffin, I was going to shoot a technical free throw for a 3-second violation.
What?
That's going to be an offensive foul. Sochan caught Kleba on his drive. And an offensive foul called on Jeremy Sochan.
And here's, you see, it's the same elbow, just kind of clearing out. You can't rip through up top. If you connect up top, that's an automatic foul. But yes, to your point, JJ, but also when you played, there wasn't as many three-point shooters fouled because the volume of threes were far less.
Lively unable to finish that time, but then nearly took it away. He gets called for the foul.
We played in the same era. What are you talking about? When I played, when did you retire?
2018.
I retired in 2021. We overlapped by like 12 years.
I honestly, I don't remember much of your time. So I'm just saying there was more when you first started in the league. There probably wasn't as many three-point shooters fouled. The volume goes up, and now we're watching 2-3 guys get 3 free throws every single night. That was my point, JJ, to be clear.
Keldon Johnson on the attack. Lays it in, plus the foul. Grant Williams gets whistled for the personal. And Johnson, a chance for 3.
It's a strong rip through here from Johnson.
Keldon Johnson shooting 1.
Looks like his feet are right on the line.
Yeah, in the restricted area. You know, Johnson is a big guy, really good rebounding guard. Last year, he was 8th among all guards in points in the paint per game. Scored 11 in the paint per game, and we've seen him do most of his damage tonight in the paint. 15 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Here's Doncic, guarded by Sochan. Doncic step back 3. Doesn't get the roll. Vassell the rebound. San Antonio with the ball down 2. Johnson into the paint again. Hooks it up and in. Keldon Johnson pounding that bicep. Doing work on the interior. Tied at 100. Wembanyama, a spectator with 5 fouls. Irving doesn't get the roll. Sochan the board. Back to Johnson. Johnson draws 2 and throws it away. Here's Irving snaking into the paint. Pushed it up short. Rare you see Irving miss that kind of look. Great touch pass. Sochan gets fouled. And Sochan will shoot 2 to try and put San Antonio back in front. Let's take a listen into Keldon Johnson's sounds of the game.
Defense. Come on, we good. That's my fault. I apologize. Yes, sir. Play together. Let's have fun. Let's do what got us here. We got the lead for a reason. We playing together. Let's have fun and do what we do, man. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Way to play, boy!
I thought it was interesting. One of the things Greg Popovich talked to us about with Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson for the game, as he said, is bad as the Spurs were defensively as a team, he told both of them, you 2 were our worst defenders. And if we are going to have a shot at winning, you are going to have to defend. He said, to their credit, they have completely bought in. They have been busting their tails on that end, coming with the effort that he knows they need if they're going to win more than they did last season.
What's the injury?
All right, Scott, we look forward to that. Meanwhile, we all came, obviously, thinking about one rookie, Victor Wembanyama. But as we check out tonight's Star Watch, brought to you by Puma, how about this rookie, Derek Lively? 14 points, 6 of 7 from the floor, 7 rebounds. Started the second half after not starting the first half and has made a dramatic difference for Dallas. Here's Irving. Bounces into Sochan, banks it in, plus the foul, and a chance for 3 for Kyrie.
We talked about the craftiness of Luka a couple of times tonight, but this is crafty from Kyrie. Has Sochan trailing behind him and goes backwards into his shooting motion, knowing that he's in pursuit to draw the foul.
Irving just 7 of 18 from the floor tonight. This will be his first free throw attempt. Knocks it down. Dallas a 103-101 lead on San Antonio. Wembanyama on the bench right now with 5 fouls. He's been limited to 16 minutes tonight.
JJ, you remember almost every stat from every game. How was your rookie debut?
My rookie debut?
Yeah.
It occurred late in a blowout game against the Atlanta Hawks. It was probably the 7th or 8th game of the season. I got it with about 2:12 to go, and I scored 2 points.
7 games in?
I only played 41 games that year.
You got 6 straight DMPs to start.
I got a lot more than 6 straight. Wow.
It all worked out in the end.
Did it?
It did. He's here with you, Richard. Osman pushes it in. Tied at 103. Irving left alone. Back iron, no. Williams keeps it alive. Here's Hardaway. Back to Williams, who lays it in. Nice decision there from Tim Hardaway Jr. And Williams puts Dallas back in front. Vassell from 3. Too strong. Wembanyama getting ready to check back in for San Antonio. Here's Williams. He got it. On a 3. Grant Williams back-to-back buckets, and Dallas's lead is 5. Timeout, San Antonio, with Wemby getting ready to come back in.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm.
And so much has been made about Wembanyama, comparing him to David Robinson and Tim Duncan. But to give some context, when David Robinson came in, he was 24 years old. He was a grown man coming from the Naval Academy. Tim Duncan was a 4-year player at Wake Forest. So it's going to take time before he's able to be compared to greatness like that. But I think he has the ability to be better than both of them before this is all done.
Well, Wemby showing that 8-foot wingspan. Back in with his 5 fouls, makes it a 3-point game. Here's Irving, the crossover and the connection. 17 for Kyrie Irving. 110-105, Mavericks lead the Spurs. Sochan trying to work Lively. Sochan taking it to him, and Lively comes up with a rebound. 8 rebounds to go with 14 points for Lively. Irving, does he get the roll? No. Wembanyama, the rebound.
We know Kyrie, one of the best crunch time players in the league. He can have a quiet night.
Wembanyama connects on the 3. That's what the people have been waiting for. 2-point game. Hardaway Jr. left alone, can't answer. Rebound, knocked back to him. His 3 rolls off, but look at Lively soaring in for the flush. Osman, he got it.
Now, JJ, if you had a redraft, would you still take Victor #1 over Lively?
Here is Lively, guarded by Victor. Glad JJ is not paying any mind to Richard's sarcasm. Here's Irving, and it's going to be a foul on Osman. Before that contact from Irving, it'll stay here with Dallas.
And this is what makes Victor Wembanyama so unique. Previous bucket, he catches a lob for a layup there. The left hand has he dribble for the 3, and then Derek Lively adding to his highlight reel from his debut.
If you're the Mavericks, you have to be delighted by what you have seen from Derek Lively tonight. 16 points, 10 rebounds in 28 minutes, now on the bench. Here's Doncic, off to Kleba, catch, fire, no. Rebound Jones, chance for San Antonio. Wemby, the deep catch, the turn, and the flush, plus the foul. Father Felix loves it, and so does this San Antonio crowd.
And we said it early in the game, when he contests a perimeter shot, He's going to leak out and try to get early post position. A great delivery from Tre Jones and a strong finish.
Wemby with 7 points in the last 2 minutes off the bench with 5 fouls. Hardaway Jr. short off the contest from Wembanyama. Here's Jones. Osman left alone. Doncic with 27 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Spurs lead it by 1. Doncic trying to skate away from Johnson. Osman on the switch, 10 to shoot. Doncic double comes into the corner. Williams left alone. He got it. On a 3. Timeout, San Antonio. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Good one brewing in Texas. The featured lineup to close out October. Friday, outstanding doubleheader on ESPN. Heat, Celtics, Warriors, Kings. Then Sunday afternoon racing on ABC. F1, the Mexican Grand Prix. And Monday Night Football. Awesome game with the Lions hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. It may have taken a while, but we are feeling the impact of Victor Wembanyama in this fourth quarter.
A quick burst of 7 points. And one thing I noticed in preseason, a lot of his games, he had a five-minute stretch of multiple plays, a 3-minute stretch of multiple plays. They're not running offense through him all the time.
Wemby,
so a lot of times, that's what it will be. It will be these quick bursts like right now.
Tied at 115. 15 points for Wembanyama. And that is going to be a foul on Johnson. That'll be the 14th foul on San Antonio.
And they ran a little cross screen. In the preseason, they ran a bunch of rip screens to get him into that mid post. With his size and shooting, he can just do it right over somebody.
Nine points in this quarter for Wemby. Johnson spills 5 on 4. Doncic left alone, can't hit. Rebound knocked into the arms of Vassell. Josh Green is down, grabbing his right ankle. Now he hops up. Wembanyama going to work. Tried to force it to Collins, and a nice play by Green to knock it away. Green still favoring his leg, and Jason Kidd is going to take a timeout. 3:21 to go in the fourth, tied at 115. Here we go.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And in part by McDonald's.
Leading scorers for the game, Doncic at the top of the list with 27, also has 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Back and forth it has gone in the second half. Tied at 115, 3:21 to go. Victor Wembanyama, after being mostly quiet throughout the game, dealing with foul trouble, has 9 of the Spurs' 12 points in the last 3 minutes. Here's Doncic. Johnson gets back to him. Doncic, guarded by Jones. Has a lot of size on him. Off to Kleba, has the space, can't hit, air ball, out of bounds, Spurs possession.
Whenever Luka starts that post up, you can always get that shot because you're gonna have to help. We've seen what he can do one-on-one. You don't want him there, but you also don't want to necessarily double because his ability to pass out of it. So you gotta knock down that shot on that first pass.
Wembanyama, the catch, the turn, the fade. No. Well defended that time. 2:45 to go. A lot of this crowd has been on its feet since Wemby came back into the game. Doncic leaves it short. A chance to run for the Spurs. Jones burns inside. Can't lay it in, but gets the whistle. And free throws here for Tre Jones.
And just in transition, trying to get something early before they're able to get set. That is the best way to kind of lower their defense, not have to worry about Wembanyama or Collins blocking shots. See if you can get something in transition, flatten the defense.
Fourth foul on Green. Jones off the bench with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. The NBA opening week continues Friday. A doubleheader on ESPN. Miami at Boston. Warriors in Sacramento. A couple of outstanding playoff rematches. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Jones knocks down both free throws. 2-point Spurs lead. Doncic, Williams, Irving, the rookie Lively, and Green, the 5 for Dallas. Collins, Jones, Vassell, Wembanyama, and Johnson for San Antonio. Doncic into the paint, waits, banks, plus the foul.
And I brought up the Luka Doncic decel in the first half. That was a masterful decel to draw the foul and finish through contact. 1-2, stop on a dime.
That was just full on put on the brakes. Unbelievable.
And you're doing that off one leg, too. It's not a hop step that brings the defense. He just slows his momentum. That is so impressive and nearly impossible to guard.
30 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists for Doncic. Dallas back up by 1. Backdoor and a foul on Irving. On the grab, Dallas is over the limit. Both teams in the bonus, so free throws here for San Antonio.
Vassell shooting 2.
Vassell with 21 points tonight.
On the second one, you blocked out Collins.
Sean Sweeney, Jason Kidd's assistant, telling Josh Green to box out on the second free throw.
Hey, hey. Hold on.
Now Sochan will come in for Jones. A little offense defense there for San Antonio. Trey Jones done such a nice job orchestrating off the bench tonight. Vassell puts San Antonio back in front now. 119-118. Doncic with Johnson now switched on him. Doncic to the free throw line. In the corner, Irving, he got it.
Kyrie, one of the best crunch time players, and again, not knocking down a 3, but his first 3 that he knocks down is with 2 minutes to go. He just always has that mindset to keep shooting and to keep being aggressive in these close moments.
Johnson forced it up, got it back, can't put it in. Sochan has it knocked away by Doncic. 3-on-1. Irving to the rim, lays it in. 123-119. Dallas in front. Doncic gets the triple-double on that last dish. Johnson in trouble in the lane, and Lively comes away with it. And now Dallas can slow things down. Back-to-back stops where Johnson got in trouble in the paint. Irving guarded by Wembanyama. Irving, no. Rebound, Lively. And another chance here for Dallas to run more clock. Wembanyama remains on Irving. Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet! Luka Doncic, as Jason Kidd likes to say, is a bad man. Throwing daggers in Texas. Well, this is what the Mavs have in mind with Luka and Kyrie, especially down the stretch. Irving with 5 straight points, coming on 2 Doncic assists, and then Doncic a vicious step back 3 And Dallas with a 7-point lead. Luka has 10 in the fourth. We've had 15 lead changes in this second half. But hard to fathom another with the Mavericks taking this 7-point cushion. Taking a long time here. Vassell gets blocked from behind by Williams, controlled by Irving, and that'll do it. An 8-0 Dallas run down the stretch of this game. And on the night that Victor Wembanyama debuts, it is the Dallas Mavericks who emerge victorious. 126-119, the final in San Antonio. 33 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists for Luka Doncic. Wemby with an impressive fourth quarter. After a quiet start to the night, but it's Luka and Kyrie who come through down the stretch. Here was the first shot from Irving, this with San Antonio leading by 1. And then in transition, Doncic able to find Irving.
And look, a lot of it in the half court was Luka orchestrating there in transition. And here at the end of the shot clock, the ridiculous, as you said, step back dagger.
And Luka Doncic is with Cassidy Hubbard.
Luka, a triple-double, which included the dagger after back-to-back defensive stops. What did you like most about how you guys closed out this game on an 8-0 run?
Defense. It's all start with our defensive stops. I think we played good defense for 3 quarters, but I think first quarter when they scored, I don't know, 42, I think so, it was too much. But I think especially at the end, we locked in, so I mean, that's how we got to be every game.
We saw a bit of a change with Derek Lively starting that second half. Obviously, a lot of talk about the Spurs rookie, but what can you say about how your rookie impacted this game?
Amazing, man. I told him, man. He played amazing for the first game. I remember seeing a rookie that played that amazing for first game. I remember my first game, I was nervous. He didn't seem like being nervous, so he played fucking amazing. Sorry.
It's the first game. We're getting back into it.
I'm tired.
Well, look, I mean, we saw it because you guys really pushed down the stretch. We saw you and Kyrie in tandem. Now we have a full season with Kyrie. Grant Williams, your new addition, had an impact. What is your confidence level in this team this season?
A lot. Like I said, especially this end of the game stuff. Last year we couldn't practice it, but we put a lot of emphasis on that this year. The first game it worked out, but we still got a lot of work to do. But defense, we got to start with defense and end with defense.
Congrats on the win and go rest up.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Third player in NBA history with a 30-point triple-double in a season opener. Mavericks win at 126-119 over the Spurs. For our producer Rodney Vaughn, our director Jeff Evers, JJ Redick, Richard Jefferson, Cassidy Hubbard, and our entire crew. I'm Ryan Rucco. Time now for SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt.